I really wanted to talk about some of my favorite things that I use for my sketchbook. So if you have watched my sketchbook tour and was wondering over some of the things that I used, I'm going to give you a full tour of all my supplies. So I'm going to start off with this set of watercolors. I use it for a quick pop of color. I really love these watercolors as well because it's so small and compact. It's the same size as my sketchbook, so I can literally just pop this in my bag with my sketchbook. Here is an example of this is literally just watercolor. I like to pair my watercolors with colored pencils, but this is just watercolors. This is also just watercolors with no pencils. These are two types of paper. I feel like you can really tell. So it is a lot brighter on this side of the paper. I live by this. Whenever I want to add color to my stuff, it's this, my go-to. The second one, I highly recommend that if you follow me on any platform, you know that I cannot stop talking about inks. I had this exact ink pot for 4 years now. It's such a professional finish to your drawings. It almost looks printed, and I love that effect. This is the Winsor & Newton ink. Here are some examples of the grade. This one is a small comic. This one's another one, and another version of it, and more example of inks. So yeah, it just gives that really polished finish that I love, and it almost looks printed. I always recommend it to anybody who asks. Another thing I also really do recommend are these Faber-Castell Fineliners. These lasted me years as well. They are still going strong. I lost 2 of the pens, so now I only have 4 of them, but it did come with I think 1 or 2 more. I use them for almost all of my drawings in my sketchbook. I borrowed them to a friend of mine who used it on this giant canvas, and it was a huge part of like the canvas drawing, and it's still going strong. Here are some examples of it in my sketchbook. So this is with the inks. This is another example. I would have liked to maybe try other fine liners, but again, I just never had to because these are so good. I'm gonna move on to some of the things that I use, but there are other alternatives for. I'm gonna start with these Faber-Castell pencils. I do love them. I always get these ones. I personally like sketching in lighter pencil. I do like to use like a 2H pencil or 5H pencil. If you are a new artist, all you really need is like a HB pencil, and normally those yellow and black ones that you find in schools, those are HB, and I used to sketch with them all the time, so I do recommend those pencils, and they are a lot cheaper. This is an example of a sketch with those pencils. So yeah, this side is with a lighter pencil, which I like using. This one is with the darker pencils. They're both Horikoshi's artwork, so I was just studying his artwork. So for colouring pencils, as I said, I like to layer my watercolours with colouring pencils. I've been using this pencil set that I have got as a Christmas gift. I find that they are really nice. They're really silky. They do have cheaper options. If you are looking for something a tiny bit more professional in your pencils, I would say try them out. One pencil that I've been using before these was the W.H. Smith pencil. Here's an example of these pencils. I used the colouring pencils on Jinx, on her hair. I feel like it did make it very bright. So for essentials as artists, I suggest a white Posca pen. I love adding highlights to my drawings, and I haven't found like any other like white pens that work as well as a white Posca pen. I used to use a Jelly Roll pen, but I don't know, nothing really compared to a white Posca pen. They're just worth it, and it lasts quite a while if you are just adding highlights. As you can see, these were all made with white Posca pen. And something I feel like every single artist need in their pencil case is a normal biro ink pen. I feel like they're really good at just like doing studies. This is something I did entirely of just one pen. Like if you are trying to get better at art, having a pen like this where you can just draw whatever you see is so helpful because you can't erase it, you can't take it away, so it kind of motivates you to get better. For me as an artist, I feel like it's just an essential thing to have with you. For my last suggestion or my last thing that I have shown quite a lot in my sketchbook is these felt tips by Faber-Castell. I just bought them because I was seeing one of my classmates use these colored pens all the time when she was drawing, and it just really made me want to use pens, and these were like quite cheap in my school's thing, and I just didn't know where to start with pens. I just wanted to add color to my drawings, and I feel like these do a fine job. I wouldn't really recommend it if you want to get into pens, because they are quite literally just felt tips. If you think about those felt tips that you used to have as children, these are literally what these are, but a little bit better because they are Faber-Castell. They lay down a lot better and they last a lot longer, but in terms of like, if you want to make a drawing just with these pens, this is probably not the way to go. I use these pens purely to do either studies like these ones or to do background like these ones. I feel like they are very bright and they do exactly what I bought them for. But in terms of pens, I am trying to find a pen that I could maybe use for skin or stuff like that. Another example, if you can see here, they blend quite well into each other but also has that pen look. But yeah, I don't really know what to say about these ones, but I do use them for like studies or backgrounds because they are very bright. Okay, that is all I use for my sketchbook. I haven't finished it. I'm waiting to finish this book to make the finished sketchbook tour, but if you want to know how the previous pages looks, I will include a link to my first sketchbook tour. Hope you guys found something that maybe piqued your interest. Either way, I hope you liked watching this video, and I hoped that it helped you in some sort of way if you were undecided on where to start or what things to buy. I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching my video.